Welcome. Thank you for joining me on my channel, Invent Your Mind. My name is Gayani. I'm an intellectual property and business law attorney practicing in California. I wanted to put this video together for consultants out there, what they need to know about consulting agreements. These for educational purposes only. Of course, please see an attorney who works on these type of agreements before you make any decisions. And with that, I will get started. This is supposed to be a short video. So first thing first, if you're a consultant, you're most likely, if you're working with a bigger company, they will probably give you a consulting agreement that they usually use with their consultants. But if you're working with a smaller company, you may need your own template. So that you can be using with your services. So those are two different needs. So keep that in mind. If the company gives you their consulting agreement, they probably favors them more than you. So it's very important to take a look at what you are agreeing to, because the agreement should be a meeting of minds, but and there should be areas to negotiate. And also a lot of the agreements will, they will tell you you are welcome to get a attorney to review those, and you should, depending on, of course, if you have the funds and how much it's going to cost. All of that does matter, but it's important to understand why it would be prudent to get it reviewed. So with that, let's say a company gives you the agreement and you're looking at it and you have a specific set of skills. So you have two other clients you're working with, and now you're worried about, because in there, first of all, it says something about exclusivity. You definitely don't want to have any material breaches of the agreement. So you want to make sure you're not signing an exclusive contract, because if you're wanting to work with other clients or even recruit other clients, you need to know that you have the flexibility. Two, you want to look at the confidentiality clauses that they're providing in the consulting agreement, because a lot of times it might be written very broadly and they will, but you're not going to be exposed to all those sides of the business. You're not going to come across trade secrets. So, but if you're agreeing to certain things, you want to be aware that you're taking a liability. So make sure that you negotiate appropriately. This is why an attorney who works in this area can really help you, because you want to limit what you get exposed to, especially if you have other clients or want to get other clients. You don't want to have where your hands get tied because you may have been exposed. So by letting the company know, okay, I do have, or I intend to have other clients, so I do not want to have exposure to these unnecessary things like trade secrets if it's not part of your job that you're going to be working for. So that's the important part to keep in mind, to look at the extent of exposure to any confidential information. And also the application as to how long they expect you to keep it. Because some agreements will say it's a couple of years, some of them say in perpetuity, which is, it's not a really great thing to agree to, unless, of course, it's like a trade secret. Those will be, you have an obligation to keep that until it remains a trade secret. So that's something to think about. And also, as a consultant, let's say you have been working with a certain manager, that's how you know, and they always paid on time and nothing went wrong. But if you're negotiating a new contract, you really do want to take a look at the payment terms, because people change. And I'm recording this in 2022. So, and there was a mass exit last year in 2020 and 2021, people leaving jobs. So a lot of times, even though you had a great person that you're connected with that always paid your invoices on time, if the company structure change and the new people are coming in, they may not be as responsive. So you want to have provisions in your consulting agreement that says what happens if there's late payments, what happens is there interest accrues after a certain number of days, what happens if you had to terminate this agreement, can you terminate it based on non-payment? Because if you don't have that in the agreement, it might actually not be, you might be obligated to finish the term of the agreement you have signed to, saying you will finish it. So you want to take a look at those. You want to take a look at, to get paid, do you have to meet certain milestones and requirements? If they're saying they want to have certain reports every quarterly or every monthly, you want to know what's the report should include, because if they say a report to their satisfaction, that can be very subjective. So in an agreement, you don't want that. You want to have a very objective standard. So you want to negotiate that, what that look like, does it mean? Also, what if the business manager you're working with doesn't like your work product, but you have put in a lot of work? So how does that get compensated? Those things can be, should be negotiated and also reflect in the language of your consulting agreement. It also matters who, what other liabilities are included in there. Is there any indemnification clauses? If that's the case, whose shift are you taking on liability that is additional to what you may not need to take on, because you will have to take a look at, again, what is how that language is written, what is the additional liabilities you're taking on. If they say, if there's like a patent infringement third-party claim that you are responsible for because there's something that you did involve some kind of a clearance, in that case, maybe that is within your work product, that you had to make sure that you are not providing something that will put that company in trouble. But on the other hand, what you're providing has nothing to do with a patent clearance or something related, then why are you taking on that additional liability? So you want to take a look at that. Those are the things, some of the few things you can actually negotiate. Also, you want to take a look at where it can be litigated. Can it be litigated in where you live, or are they putting a different venue, different state? What are the, also, if they don't pay, you stop the agreement and you had to use a collection agency or work with the attorney to collect the funds, who's going to pay for that? You can put those clauses in there that if you had to do a collection, then it's also going to come out of their, you have the right to claim those charges, but it's needed to be included in those consulting type of agreement. There are other things also, the scope of work, term and termination effect should be take a look at. So is it a auto renewal, or is it only for 6 months? Also, upon termination, what do you obligated to do? Do you have to turn over all your work product? Or especially if they haven't paid you? Or what happens, can you withhold until the payment is received? So these are a few of very important things that you want to actually take a look at. And now let's look at the other part I mentioned in the beginning, where you are a consultant who's working with small businesses or something, and you have your own consulting agreement you share with these others businesses. So in that case, again, you want to take a look at what you have in there. Would it be suitable for what you're trying to provide? Because is it an agreement that if it ever get litigated, would it protect you the way you think it does? Or are you leaving yourself more vulnerable because you're the one who's giving the agreement? So a lot of times in contract law, they call the drafter, which is you in this case, even though you took it from online, let's say, it's considered a person who gave the contract. so there's more weight is given to interpreting in fairness to the other party than the person who gave it. So you can claim that something in your own contract is unfair. So that's one of the things to keep in mind. If there's a special type of service you're providing, and if the company is asking for additional hours, does your consulting agreement covers how you're going to be paid for those additional hours? Also, are you making it clear that you're working with other clients and how you provide your work product? So all of these are topics to think about and make a list before you go and talk to your attorney, because they would want to know how you what you're going to be doing, what is it that you need, and your deal breakers. That will always help you get a better agreement together. So I hope this helped you in the process. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And please check out other videos I have on contracts for further information. Thank you.